Okay, welcome back to Bake Monkey. Today we are doing honeycomb macarons. We're starting with 115 grams of almond flour, sifted. It's already been sifted. And next we're going to do 90 grams of powdered sugar. Okay, I've got my 90 grams of powdered sugar in my sifter. Now go ahead and sift that on through as well. Okay, next thing you're going to do is take about a cup of honeycombs and put them in your food processor and pulse it about 10 times on high. Okay, and this is how they should look. So we're going to sift 20 grams of this honeycomb dust through our sifter now. So take this over and into our bowl here, we're going to sift 20 grams. And you're going to be left with some bigger crumbs of honeycomb in your bowl, in your sifter here. And we're actually just going to set those aside for decorating the top of our macarons. So there we are at 20 grams. 20 grams even. All right, perfect. Pour these back into your bowl. And we're going to set these aside to decorate the top of our macarons with once we get them piped out. Once you've got all your ingredients in there together, give them a quick little whisk just to get them all incorporated. And then we're going to add our egg white right in the center of this after this is whisked up. Okay, now we're going to take our extra large room temperature egg white and crack it straight in the middle here. Just past that yolk from shell to shell. Careful not to break it. And bottom. Okay, now you're going to mix this up. Just pass the almond flour and powdered sugar over the egg white. Just kind of give it a good little mix around. Just like that. Get it nice and incorporated. Okay, once you get it to about this stage where it's kind of crumbing together, it's always easier to just ditch your bowl scraper and use your hand. Just push it all in together, fold it over itself over and over, make sure all the dry ingredients get incorporated into that egg white. Okay, to start our Italian meringue here, we're going to crack our extra large egg white into our mixing bowl here. If you don't have a mixer, a stand mixer, feel free to use just a regular hand mixer in a regular bowl. There we go. Okay, once your egg white's cracked into the bowl, get that straight onto your stand mixer, and we're prepared for when our sugar syrup's done cooking. Okay, we're going to put 1/3 cup sugar straight into our stovetop. Get your stove turned on. I like to be at about a number 7 out of 9, medium high. Your stove will probably cook a little different than mine, but you'll figure it out. Okay, and then on top of the sugar, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of water. And give that a quick little stir to incorporate the water and the sugar together. You want to keep the sides of the bowl nice and clean, so get your bowl scraper and just make sure those edges stay nice and tidy as this warms up and cooks. Okay, you can see our sugar syrup starting to boil here. Once the entire surface of the sugar is boiling, we're going to start a 2-minute timer. And on my stove, about 2 minutes of boiling gets it to the right temperature, 245 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's when we're going to add it to our egg white. Okay, 2-minute timer starts now. Cool. Okay, that's looking good. Now that we're at 1 minute on our timer, I'm going to start our egg white mixing. at a number 6. And then when we've got 30 seconds left, I'm gonna bump that up to a number 8. We want our egg white kind of frothy and white when we add our sugar syrup to it. Okay, we got 30 seconds left. We're gonna bump this up now. And you're gonna see that's gonna turn into a real nice frothy white as our sugar syrup continues to boil here. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn your timer off. Stovetop off. And that's looking like the right temperature to me. We're gonna bring this over, and you can see our egg white is nice and white and frothy. We're gonna add this slowly and steadily right down the side of the bowl here. You don't want to add this sugar syrup in too fast, otherwise you're going to scramble your eggs. So nice and steady so that meringue's got a chance to warm up. And then we're going to let this mix for about 5 minutes until the bottom of our bowl is lukewarm to cool. Okay, it's been a few minutes. The bowl is lukewarm. Looks done to me. I'm going to shut this off. And let's see what we got here. Yeah, looks good to me. Tap that off and let's take this over to our macaron batter. Okay, we've got our Italian meringue made, and now we're just gonna mix it in with our macaron batter here. So start as usual with about a third of this meringue mixture, and we're just gonna chop that in. You don't have to be delicate at this point, just get that all mashed into your macaron batter. All we're looking to achieve at this point is getting the batter lightened up, getting it fluffier, so we can add that other 2/3 and it'll be easier to fold in. Okay, we've got that first third mixed in and it's looking like it's lightened up quite a bit. Now next thing is scrape your bowl scraper off real good. Then we're gonna get this other 2/3 folded in here. Make sure you get all this. That's good enough. Now, this is where we do the folding. So my favorite technique is over and through, and just keep on doing your over and through, and you'll see this start getting nice and light. Once this ribbons off your spatula, your bowl scraper, in a nice slow fluid manner, you'll know that you're done and ready to put it in your piping bag and pipe them out. Okay, so let me show you what we're looking for as far as texture of this batter. So we've gone over and through plenty of times, and now we're checking the consistency. See how this ribbons off your bowl scraper nice and slow. That's exactly the consistency we're looking for. So we're gonna add this into our piping bag now. Okay, so I've got my piping bag outfitted into our Yeti mug as usual. And we're just gonna feed this macaron batter slowly in. Just let it work its way down the side of the bag. Nice and easy. Okay, so I've got my parchment paper on the bottom side of my baking sheet here. If you've ever seen my videos before, you know why. And now we are going to cut our tip off of our macaron piping bag. I like about a Skittles size hole. You already know that too if you've ever seen my videos. And then now we're going to start piping. Hold your bag vertical to your piping or to your parchment paper, apply pressure, stop applying pressure, and whip it off. Apply pressure, stop, whip it off. Squeeze, stop, swipe. Squeeze, stop, swipe. Squeeze, stop, swipe. Continue on with that. Okay, we got our last couple getting piped out here. And then as soon as we're done piping these out, we're gonna give our little babies a little burp. All right, so now get your baking sheet up off the table, rest it on your palm, and then just give it a little burp. Just like you're burping a baby. We're just trying to get the air bubbles to the surface and also give them a nice smooth shiny look. So after you burp them, drop it a couple times and cool. Okay, now we're bringing back these honeycomb crumbs, and we're gonna sprinkle these over the top of half of these. So sprinkle it on the last half that you piped because they're gonna be a little bit more moist, a little tackier than the others that you started with. And this just gives your macaron a nice little cereal crunch on top. Little taste of that honeycomb cereal right off the bat is a nice touch. And that looks like about half, doesn't it? All right. Then we're gonna let these sit and cure for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then once they're done and you can run your finger over the top of them without any stickiness, you know that they're ready to bake 300 degrees for 14 minutes. We'll check back in here in a little bit. Okay, while our macarons are curing, we're gonna use that hour to make our filling for these bad boys. So we've got our scale out again, and we're gonna do 1 ounce of cream cheese into our bowl here. Whoops, we're on grams. Let's go to ounces. That's 1.16. We need to take a little bit out of there. 1.06, that's close enough. We're gonna go with that. Okay, next thing we're gonna add in is 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. Okay, next thing we added in there was 6 tablespoons of room temperature butter. And then we're just gonna use our hand mixer and get this all incorporated together. Start on low so you don't make a huge mess. And you'll see this all start coming together here in just a second. Okay, next thing that's going in here is 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. Let's get that blended up. Start on low once again. Don't want any powdered sugar dust clouds. Okay, last thing that goes into our filling here is 1 tablespoon of honey. And then just give that honey a good mix in there as well. And we're gonna do 1 more 1/4 cup powdered sugar. Start on low once again. Okay, I started scraping my sides here, and I determined I need 1 more 1/4 cup of powdered sugar in here. I'm gonna mix that up in there as well. Just want this filling a little thicker than it was, a little less moist. Okay, so got my filling, putting it straight into my piping bag here. And then I'm actually gonna chill this in my refrigerator for about 30 minutes to an hour, just to get this back to a nice stable temperature and consistency before we fill our macarons with it. I don't want it quite so slack. So pull this out and pop this into your fridge until your macarons are ready to go. All right. Okay, my macarons have a nice smooth shell over the top, no tackiness. I'm putting them in the oven, 300 degrees, 14 minutes now. Okay, timer's going off. Let's see how we did. Oh mama. Now that's what you want to see when you open the oven. That is a perfect macaron. All right, we're gonna let these cool and then we're gonna fill them. Okay, for our topping, we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of white chocolate chips. Microwave this for about 45 seconds. Okay, now we're gonna add about a half a teaspoon of coconut oil to this white chocolate here. Just to thin it out, because this is gonna be our drizzle for the top of our macarons. Okay, now that we've got that all stirred up, just add that white chocolate into your sandwich bag that's folded open here. Okay, so now we're gonna cut our very fine tip off of our sandwich bag here, and we're gonna do our nice fine little drizzle across the top of our honeycomb macarons, just like this.
Where's your wife going? Yeah, well, you're trying.
He was third for a while. It's not how he started, how he finished, but if you have a bad start like that, fourth girl, that's hard to do.
All right. Now all we need to do is fill these babies and we're done. Okay, last thing we need to do is put our filling in these sweet little mamas. So we're basically just gonna pipe it right on the center. This filling is really delicious. This filling does need to stay refrigerated, just FYI. You're gonna wanna store these macarons in the fridge. All right, last one. Okay, last couple tops going on here. And these will be ready to store in the fridge, and then just pull them out about 15 or 20 minutes before you want to eat them, so that filling in the middle is not too firm. But there you have them, honeycomb macarons. Thanks for watching. See you next recipe.